brain that retains information from self-help books he's read parts of. So I don't have all the information. He gets his information from self-help books, as well as bikini models on Instagram. And they have so much wisdom, don't they? But really, everybody on Instagram, I feel, is, this is a very long cord here. I am not a stand-up comic, by the way. I am an inner therapist. And by the way, I also have clientele in Jim's head. As audience members, you likely are part of Jim's head as well. So if that feels weird to you or makes you uncomfortable, just know that I am here to help. See me after the show. Excuse me. So anyway, I feel that everybody on Instagram is dealing with trauma. Everybody's resolving their trauma. Trauma is trending. I know Jim's dealing with a lot of trauma, but that's because he wasn't traumatized enough. Stick with me. Sadly, Jim does not have an inner artist. See, this is envision, if you will, like here, a peak. This little guy is you, climbing up that peak of trauma. The higher up you go, the worse and worse your trauma gets. Until you just have a little more trauma and you go rapidly down the mountain. Like this skier guy. Again, not an artist. Until you get to the ski lodge of numbness. That's where you want to be. That's where you have the, as I call it, the après trauma. Sitting by the fireplace with your broken leg and your snifter of brandy. Enjoying the numbness that you get. I call this process the Everest of trauma. I'm trademarking that. So basically, any fear you have, if you want to get to the ski lodge of numbness and enjoy the après trauma, you have to power up that mountain in spite of fog. I gave up drawing. Or snow, or mountain goats. Be careful of the mountain goats. They're dicks. They will knock you off the mountain and you'll have to start all over again. I call them family. Most people do not get over the peak because of the mountain goats. They knock them off. So that's so really the thing you want to do is if you have body issues, for example, you don't want to cover yourself up in layers of bulky clothing. No. That's not what you do. You take off all your clothes in public all the time. Only then will you power up that mountain and get to that ski lodge of numbness. And make the public pay for their mockery. So that's what Jim is dealing with right now. Body dysmorphia. He does suffer from that, Abby. He learned that term on Instagram, likely from one of the models that he follows. So I like this stage here. It feels very much like home for me. As a therapist, it looks very much like a therapist's office. Very homey and warm feeling. But until he needs me, I live in a black void. And which reminds me of something else. Jim saw this television program, a documentary of documentarians going into a famous bat cave outside of Austin, Texas. There was so many bats, millions of bats, and so much bat guano or shit on the cave floor that they had to wear hazmat suits just to go in and look at the bats. And that's not, you don't want to go, yeah. So anyway, I started to think how often we enjoy being in the dark. That's where good things happen. It's cool in the dark, we sleep in the dark, we have sex in the dark, especially after several years of marriage. But unfortunately, you know who else is in the dark? Bats. Not that one. Vampire bats. They live in the dark. And while you can't see, they can, or I guess hear, whatever. They know you're there. They can see in the dark and they can see you. And they will swoop in on you and attach themselves to you and drain you of your blood, your precious life force. And the blood is the life. What are your vampire bats? Everybody's got them. Don't be smug. Everybody's got one, like your penchant for nibbling off of other people's plates and your crippling fear of intimacy, sir. I'll just give you a second to look over the list. I don't know if anybody can read the list, but I'll give you time. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, you might think that if someone were to shine a light on all your vampire bats, you might consider him a hero, right? Wrong. You would hate that person. Why? Because they're shining a light on all these furry winged leeches, draining you of your life force. And you don't want them to leave because they're part of your personality now. You've wrapped up your entire personality. That's okay, sir. Clumsiness, that's one part of, that's your vampire bat. But if they flew away, who even are you? You don't know, because you've been going in that bat cave since you were a baby. And all those bats are just attaching themselves to you. But anyway, if I could end this on just, I have one thing to say that I think would help all of you improve your life by 10,000%. But Jim didn't get to that chapter in the last book he was reading, so I apologize for that. I think he's coming out of his breakthrough right now. So thank you very much for listening to me.